Hello, YouTubes. I'm Nicholas W. Fuller. I'm an author, I'm a gamer, I'm a fan of fast paced martial arts action. Thank you for joining me. Today, I'm going to give you a super fast recap of the awesome book Unsouled by the wonderful human Will Wight. That's book one of the Cradle series, which is planned to be 12 books long. All right, information requested. Unsouled recap in 10 minutes or less. Starting now. Unsouled begins with Weishi Linden starting the spiritual origin test that all kids do in Sacred Valley when he's about 7. Weishi Linden, stretch forth your hand and let your spirit be known. It's supposed to tell whether he's a striker, an enforcer, that sort of thing, but it turns out none of that matters, but we don't learn that for a long time. Anyway, he sticks his hand in the bowl and nothing happens. He is empty, unsouled. No magic, spent his life weak like baby. Wah wah. The whole world works on magic martial arts called sacred arts, but because our boy Lyndon here is unsouled, he won't be allowed to train at all, ever, in any way. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. Your whole life you will be weak like baby. Wah wah. Still, Lyndon tries the test again every 6 months, often with more elaborate attempts at cheating. Apologies. And fails every time. By the time the story really starts moving, he's 15. And by the way, at this point, Lyndon is apparently built like The Rock because he's huge. And he was already huge, and so was The Rock when he was 15. Anyway, Lyndon is unsouled, lower than low, treated like dirt, weak like baby. In order to try to advance and get stronger, he tries to get a magic spirit fruit, but in the process, his cousin screws it up. Eventually, Lyndon does get the fruit, but he breaks his arm while he's doing it. So when he comes home feeling a bit triumphant with his fruit, his own family's like, yo, nice spirit fruit, we'll take that. Yoink, thanks. And he's like, whoa, wait a minute, I got it, can I have it? And they're like, no, you're unsouled, you're weak like baby, therefore you suck. Wah wah. Apologies. Anyway, Lyndon's like, wow, that sucks. Thanks, mom and dad. You know what? You're both old and broken, giving that half to my sister who might be something someday, and I'm taking some too, dang it. And so he actually gets some, and so does his sister. But then he's in trouble with the elders over the whole thing because of the cousin, and the elder says, yo, you're still unsouled, and you still suck, weak like baby. Wah, wah. In fact, you suck so much because you're unsouled that if another clan was out there and they ran into you while you were trying to get the spirit fruit and they accidentally killed you because you're weak, like baby, and you're unsouled, I'd have to apologize to them for the inconvenience because you suck. So anyway, it's good that you don't get dead, but you did embarrass your cousin along the way, and so now you and your cousin are going to have to duel in a week's time. But he's weak like baby. Lyndon is bound to lose because he's not nearly as advanced as his cousin. So what is he going to do? He's going to find out how he could possibly survive. He hasn't been allowed to train at any at this point in his life because he's unsouled, even though he's 15. He hasn't been able to do anything at all. But somewhere in his clan's archives, he finds a scroll, and it teaches him this path of twin stars, which turns his mana bar into 2 separate but less useful mana bars. But that's not the thing that interests Lyndon. What is interesting to him is a technique called empty palm. If you can land it right on your opponent's core, which by the way is right around the belly area, and that's where they store their magic energy, right in the belly. If you can nail them right in the core with the empty palm, it ruins their mana bar for a while. They can't do magic foo at all. I call it magic foo. It's not called magic foo. It's called secret arts. I like magic foo. Anyway, apologies. Then there's a whole power ranking system, but I'll save that for another video. So he learns to do this empty palm, and he practices on his sister. At first, he can't do it, but he has to because the duel is coming in like a week. Eventually, he gets it right. Yay! He's like, wow, it works. It really well. So then he goes to the tournament. Instead of fighting his cousin, he challenges a much stronger person. The ranking, it's an iron. Anyway, he actually lands the empty palm, but because the other person wasn't expecting it, it works really well. But immediately after, Lyndon's like, cool, I'm just kidding, right? Please don't kill me. And he surrenders. But then this magic being comes down, whose name doesn't really matter. And he's like, yo, y'all dead. So that sucks. But then Lyndon knows he'll get wrecked, and he tries to stop it, but this guy, and it doesn't work because he's weak like baby. But then a magic angel comes down, and her name is Suriel, and she's like, yo, you're all back alive. So that's cool. She rewinds the events and then disappears, and the bad guy just disappears and gone. She just totally time travel. Everything's undone. She saw that Lyndon had tried to attack the bad guy before, and even though he must have known he was never going to succeed because of course he's weak like baby, but he tried. So she's like, yo, you're kind of brave enough, and even though you're weak like baby, come with me. And she shows him other parts of the world and people in it, and that are way more powerful than he even ever thought possible, way more powerful than anyone in Sacred Valley at all. But she shows him that this whole area, all of Sacred Valley, is going to be ruined, clobbered, destroyed. But he has an opportunity to save it. And she says that the person here, a disciple of the Sword Sage, that's also in Sacred Valley, and she could help you if you get there and work together. She's at the Heaven Glory School. They're here in Sacred Valley. If you guys leave Sacred Valley together and start getting stronger, where you might someday possibly maybe be able to save your home if you advance and get strong enough. Lyndon's like, I'm down. Let's do it. I'm there. So through more trickery and such, he sneaks his way to Heaven's Glory School. He finds out where the Sword Sage disciple is, and uh-oh, wah wah. He finds out that the school is trying to kill her and take her treasures because that's what people do in this world. They take things from like anyone they can. But he gets there first. He gets to the disciple and he's like, yo, I know this is crazy and I just met you, but I saw a magic space angel and it healed everyone and it would be really cool if we got out of here together. By the way, creepy belt, but you do you. And Yaren was like, yo, that does sound crazy. And he's like, no. Look at this cool space marble. She gave it to me. And Yaren's like, well, you're still crazy, but beat me dry. We should work together. And so they fight their way out, and in the process, Yaren absorbs her former master's remnant and becomes gold level with a shiny new sword arm, and Linden splits his mana bar into two so that an attacker doesn't ruin his magic core, and then they get out of Sacred Valley, and the end. That's the recap. What do you think? That's the whole book. In about 5 minutes? Nailed it. So there was that's my short recap of Unsouled, book 1 of the Cradle series, as told by me, Nicholas W. Fuller. Apologies, but if it wouldn't be too much trouble, this one requests you please like the video and subscribe to my channel. I plan on doing more of these recaps for each book in the Cradle series. And if you love the Cradle series, please check out my video on how to support your favorite authors so you can learn some easy things you can do to help Will Wight and your other favorite authors too. Thank you for watching. If no one's told you yet today, you're an absolute legend, and whatever your next challenge is ahead of you, you got this.